Hello everyone, welcome to Medxtract. Here we break down complex topics into simple explanations. Hello everyone, welcome to Medxtract. I am Kiran, currently a third year MBBS student at MIMS Mandia. So, today's topic is basal ganglia under neuroanatomy series. So, let's start. Basal ganglia is mainly involved in motor activities. So, it is part of CNS. Today we are going to read about its anatomy. Today we are going to read about its anatomy, the connections of it, the functions of it, and its associated clinical aspects, and how to write a 5 marker for basal ganglia in any university exam. So, for coming to the definition basal ganglia, as the name suggests, basal below ganglia. Ganglia refers to cluster of cell bodies in CNS. So, basal below collection of cell body. So, it is subcortical mass of gray matter. So, coming to its anatomy, we have outer cortex, then below which it is that is outer cortex made up of outer gray matter, inner white matter, below which there is lateral ventricle, followed by uh, basal ganglia. So, coming to its anatomy, it is mainly made up of, it constitutes corpus striatum, amygdaloid body or amygdala, and claustrum. So, corpus striatum further contains caudate nucleus, and lentiform nucleus. So, coming to the anatomy of corpus striatum it, it contains caudate nucleus and lentiform nucleus. So, caudate nucleus is a comma-shaped collection of gray matter which which ends at its tail with amygdaloid body, while anterior it is connected with lentiform nucleus by a thin band of anterior white fibers. So coming to its cross section, we have anteriorly its caudate head of the caudate nucleus, followed by the lentiform nucleus laterally, and claustrum lateral to the lentiform nucleus. So as I told you before, topographically, corpus striatum contains caudate nucleus and lentiform nucleus, while phylogenetically it contains paleostriatum and neostriatum. So phylogenetically, as I told you, it is paleostriatum and neostriatum. Paleo refers to old, while as neo refers to new. Paleo is usually referring to globus pallidus, while neostriatum refers to putamen and caudate nucleus. So further, functionally, globus pallidus and anatomically, globus pallidus putamen form the lentiform nucleus. So, uh, coming to important points of each of the nucleus, caudate nucleus. Caudate nucleus, as I told you before, it is comma shaped collection of gray matter, and it is along the convexity of lateral ventricle. Coming to the parts of it, as previously shown, it contains the head, the body, and tail. So head, body, and tail. Tail ends as an almond-shaped mass called amygdaloid body, which is functionally related to limbic system. So we'll talk more about it there. So it has efferent called as stria terminalis, that is ending in septal area, anterior perforation substance, and anterior hypothalamic nuclei. So amygdala body, as I told you, it's comma shaped, and it is around the lateral ventricle, superior to the inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. Lentiform nucleus, lentiform. So lenti refers to lens, so it is lens shaped, and it is located just below anteriorly to the caudate nucleus, and it is connected with a few, as I told before, it is connected with white matter, gray matter anteriorly with caudate nucleus. Parts of lentiform nucleus includes lat laterally it is putamen separated by separated from globus pallidus with lateral me- medullary lamina. Then further, the globus pallidus is divided into two parts, external segment and internal segment, by medial medullary lamina. So, so here is lentiform nucleus. Here is lentiform nucleus divided into putamen and globus pallidus, separated by lateral medullary lamina, and globus pallidus further divided by medial medullary lamina. So, caudate nucleus and the lentiform nucleus are separated by the internal capsule, anterior limb of internal capsule, as well as from thalamus by the posterior limb of internal capsule and its genu. Then, functionally, structures of midbrain are associated with basal ganglia that includes substantia nigra, red nuclei, and subthalamus. Substantia nigra is a small collection of gray matter which is pigmented with melanin and iron present along the midbrain, especially between the crux of cerebri. The crux of cerebri anteriorly and the tectum posteriorly. Sorry, tegmentum posteriorly. Coming to other parts, the red nuclei. Red nuclei is also present in the midbrain, ventral to the third nerve nucleus, while the subthalamus is inferior to the thalamus. inferior to the lateral part of the thalamus. Then coming to its connections, inputs include corticosteroid pathway, thalamosteroid pathway, raphe pathway, and locus coeruleus pathway. So outputs includes various connections with globus pallidus internus that includes thalamus, subthalamus, substantia nigra, and reticular formation, along with red nucleus. So to revise, basal ganglia. Basal ganglia is anatomically divided into caudate nucleus, corpus striatum, and corpus striatum further into caudate nucleus and lentiform nucleus. Then other parts include claustrum, which is lateral and does not have any significant function, and the amygdala. Now, as I told previously, the connections, the most important connection is corticostriate. Corticostriate, thalamocortical, and others include raphe striate and locus coeruleus. So, as I told, connection corticostriate pathway, the motor and sensory areas of cerebral cortex are connected with corpus striatum via glutaminergic neurons. So, to begin, glutaminergic neurons are excitatory neurons, neurotransmitters, whereas GABA is inhibitory neurotransmitter. So, motor cortex connected with corpus striatum with glutaminergic neurons stimulates corpus striatum, and corpus striatum is connected with globus pallidus. Globus pallidus via uh, GABAergic neurons, which is negative or inhibitory neurotransmitter. Further, globus pallidus sends inhibitory neurotransmitter to thalamus, and that signals back to cortex. Further, the important connections include substantia nigra via dopaminergic and reflex by GABAergic and substance P. And so corpus striatum is also associated with the interlaminar nuclei of thalamus. And other important connection is with subthalamic nuclei. Subthalamic nuclei is connected with globus pallidus, and it is important in indirect pathway. So to explain with the direct and pathways, that is direct and indirect pathway. So direct, cortex sends signals via glutaminergic neurons to striatum to globus pallidus internus via GABAergic neurotransmitter. Then from globus pallidus internus to thalamus via GABA GABAergic GABAergic neurons. Further, thalamus signals to cortex, which is stimulatory. There is inhibition of the inhibitory nerve signal. And coming to indirect, the cortex send signals to globus pallidus, externus via striatum, that is inhibitory. From globus pallidus externus, it is sends to subthalamic nuclei, and then to globus pallidus internal side. While for the during the transmission along cortex to striatum, it is glutaminergic. From striatum to globus pallidus externus, it is GABAergic. And from globus pallidus externus to subthalamic nucleus, it is via GABAergic again. And from subthalamic nucleus to globus pallidus internus, it is glutaminergic again. So it is inhibitory signal that regulates the muscle tone. We'll discuss more about it in functions. Then other important connections include via with substantia nigra. Substantia nigra has two components, pars reticulata and pars compacta. PR stands here for pars reticulata and PC stands for pars compacta. Striatum pars striatum is connected with substantia nigra, pars reticulata with GABAergic neurotransmitters, and from pars compacta again the nerve signal is reduced by dopaminergic pathway along pars compacta, and pars reticulata signals to thalamus. And coming to the efferent pathway, it is from the globus pallidus interna segment, as I told before, via pedunculopontine fibers. It signals to brainstem, and from brainstem along the spinal cord, it regulates the muscle tone. So functions of basal ganglia. Basal ganglia are important in motor functioning mainly, and it helps in planning and programming of voluntary movements. And rapid and long movement coordination is also controlled by basal ganglia. Cognitive and subconscious control of motor activity is also regulated by basal ganglia, and muscle tone regulated by basal ganglia. Further, various movements such as conjugate movements and group of movements are regulated by basal ganglia. So discuss with the functions. First is planning and programming of motor activities. Second one is regulation of posture. Regulation of posture. Third one is to determine how long and how rapid the movement should occur. Then one is fourth one is the reflex activity. It controls the reflex activity, especially the motor reflex activity. Then fifth one is it regulates the muscle tone. Usually it depresses the muscle tone via muscle spindles. Coming to its clinical aspects, Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism is one of the most important clinical aspect associated with basal ganglia. It also includes chorea, athetosis, and balismus, which are not much important. So Parkinsonism refers to a age-related neurodegenerative disorder. This occurs due to degeneration of nigrostriatal dopaminergic neurons that that are degenerated along aging. So there is imbalance between the dopamine and ACH at striatum, leading to ACH overactivity and further symptoms are associated with Parkinson that I'll explain in the next slide. Sorry. ACH overactivity it is. Leading to symptoms that are marked here. It can be remembered with the mnemonic shift smart. So S stands for stooped posture and shuffling gait. M stands for marked spacious, and A stands for akinesia, usually bradykinesia. Then R stands for rigidity, and T stands for tremors, usually resting tremors. Rigidity is of two types: cogwheel and lead pipe rigidity. So shuffling gait for a stooped posture. M is masked faces. So to revise, basal ganglia, basal ganglia, the definition of it, the anatomy as we discussed the parts, that is caudate nucleus plus lentiform nucleus forming the corpus striatum and its associated nuclei like as red nuclei, substantia nigra, subthalamic nuclei, etc. Then coming to its functions and connections. So functions is usually it is motor tone and motor coordination. And connections include the direct pathway, the indirect pathway, and its association with substantia nigra as well as with the globus pallidus internus that is associated with pedunculopontine fibers. So thank you. If you find this video interesting, please like and share it with your friends. And please, for more updates, please subscribe to my channel.